It's time for Talkin Tauntauns,
Star Wars discussion podcast from reviews of the latest shows and books to breaking news and thoughtful interviews. Join us as we dive into all things from a galaxy far, far away.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tauntauns. I am Jim Lahane, and with me this time is renowned Star Wars puzzler expert and science of Star Wars enthusiast. It's James Floyd.
Woo! Let's hear it. Oh no. Hi everybody. Thank you, Jim, for the very long introduction.
I actually cut out half of it.
Oh.
It was it's all I wrote it all out on the paper, and it's about 10 minutes long.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can fax that to me.
I will, as soon as I travel back in time and find a fax machine.
Time travel's more of a Star Trek thing, isn't it?
It has happened in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, we can go to the world between worlds.
And also was it cross current?
Oh yeah, and the flow walking.
Yes. I remember flow walking. That was a thing. How are you doing, James?
I am doing fantastic. I am excited to be back on the show. I love you guys.
It's just me.
I love you, Guy. Goggle, 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 goggle.
Yeah. I don't have any tauntaun noises teed up because Melissa's not here.
Melissa being my co-host of Star Warsologies for you listening out there.
Yes. Well, she will be here next episode.
What? Do you guys just always pair us up? Wait, I think she's had more episodes than me.
She did call that out, actually. She's like, is James also going to be coming on for an episode? Because I don't think she wants to do more than you. I think she wants it even. But this was set up. Your episode and her episode were set up completely separately. I'm not saying why she's on because last time I announced somebody coming on before they actually did. It didn't happen. So we're not going to say, well, who's coming on with Melissa?
Is it somebody whose initials are S and T?
It is actually.
Dun dun dun.
So
let's talk about this episode.
Let's talk about this episode. The reason we have you on is because you have a new book coming out.
That is right. Star Wars Crossword Puzzles and Other Word Games from a Galaxy Far, Far Away is my first book. It's my first Star Wars. And I'm really excited. It comes out November 19th from Chronicle Books.
Yes. We are not talking about that right at this moment, though. I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Just saying
what
why
are we
you're
talking
here.
About?
News.
News! Let's talk news. Okay, over to the front desk. It's Jim.
We have news.
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker. Then I'll see you in hell.
Hello, what have we here?
All right. We got 3 pieces of news. I only sent you 2 because you were late and I found another one.
I think I know what that third one is. Anyway, number 1.
Number 1, we got our probably the last trailer or the biggest trailer, the full trailer of Skeleton Crew. Have you watched
I thought
it?
you had. I have watched it. I thought you had a little sound clip queued up there.
No sound clips. I prefer to not be sued. So I try to keep the sound clips to a minimum. Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I thought it was a really cool way to kind of introduce it that kind of at the beginning, you don't really necessarily see it as Star Wars. It's like, 2 kids waiting outside the principal's office in high school. And, it goes back to, again, to that like 80s movie, Spielbergian feel of just, kids having a big adventure. And then, as things progress, then it's like, oh, this is the Star Wars part of it. And, them finding a ship and hopping on, and you realize that, some of their friends are not human, and then they end up in a world of trouble.
Yeah, this trailer made me more interested for the show, a lot more interested for the show than the previous trailer. Like this one, it felt like more fun, I guess, more of an adventure show, which is I'm down for. The
Yeah.
previous one is kind of like I was still hesitant, but this one I'm like, okay, I can get in with this.
Yeah, and then adding Major Tom to the soundtrack, but in Huttese was just
Is that what
brilliant.
that is? I didn't even
Yeah,
realize.
yeah. That yep.
The we had mentioned it before. It turns out the Neil, who we had called the Max Rebo species, the ortolan, turns out he's not an ortolan by everybody's maybe not everybody's, but specific comments that I've seen online. He is some other blue elephant type species. Uh,
They're a dime a dozen in the galaxy far, far away.
we were wondering what happened to his arms as he gets older, if they just fall off
Oh
or
no.
they shrink or like how
Yeah.
that works. But it turns out he probably keeps them.
Yay. Probably really good for a pilot.
Um, well, Max Rebo is a pianist and he does quite well
Good
without
night,
arms.
everybody.
All right. Our second news is apparently there is another Star Wars trilogy in the works. Add it to, I literally saw a list of all the supposed Star Wars movies that are in the works, and it's a lot. There are a lot of movies that have been
S-
announced or kind of
Started.
announced. Yeah, kind of announced. Like this one, the deadline headline,
Ooh.
um, states that Star Wars trilogy deal, Lucasfilm taps Simon Kinberg to write and produce. And while you may be saying, yeah, that could be anything, Simon Kinberg shared this on his Instagram. So that kind of tells me that this is probably true.
Yep, definitely true. Simon Kinberg was one of the people who helped develop Star Wars Rebels with Dave Filoni.
Mhm.
So, he's got his Star Wars chops already. He's a big producer and writer on a lot of different franchises that, he worked on, I think, on Star Trek and the Kenneth Branagh Agatha Christie movies, is I think several other franchises too that I can't quite remember.
Yep. This article starts off with Lucasfilm has closed the deal with Simon Kinberg to develop a trilogy of Star Wars films. Kinberg will also write the trio and produce them with Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy, and from there it goes on to nonsense. It's like it
And
starts
what
with
nonsense does it
well,
say?
it starts with I heard this will comprise episodes 10 through 12.
Dun dun dun. At least they're going in numerical order now.
Yeah, except for that like he continues on, maybe it's not. I don't really know. Like this is like the entire article is nonsense beyond that first sentence. It's like
Well, maybe they're going to
why?
do 13, 14, 15, and then leave 10 through 12 for somebody else to fill in.
But they'll jump back in time. I wondered not many, if any, franchises have ever started in the middle and then jumped back.
I mean, really what they could do here is fill in between 6 and 7, so you'd have like 6.3 and 6.6 and 6.9.
Yeah, so actually I think they're going to be doing 10, 12, and 14
Ooh,
and
ooh, I
then
like this.
jump back to 11, 13, and 15. And they'll just like do every other one eventually.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. They really should do that for the Fast and Furious movies.
Faster and a Furious
Yep,
number 47.
yep, and just no explanation from how we got to 10 to 47. That
That's like the iPhone. All right. And our last bit of news is we have a release date for Andor season 2.
Woo!
coming
It
out.
is April 22nd, 2025. That is just 2 days after Celebration Japan ends out. So I'm guessing we're going to get a premiere at Celebration Japan in Tokyo.
That makes sense. Kind of what they did with Kenobi.
Yep. And so we're all looking forward to go one way out.
I just didn't buy a return ticket.
No, there's only one exit to the main celebration stage. So, yeah.
Oh, I thought there was just one exit to US and you're just
That's a whole different show. But yes,
it's yes. The things haven't gone well in the US. We're okay. Everything's fine here.
we
How
had
are you?
we had a slight elections malfunction, and we deeply apologize.
Yeah. Uh, but that's not fun news. Um, yeah. Are you ready to talk your book?
Yes.
So the question is, since we are doing audio live and we are essentially interviewing you about your book, do you want the book intro or do you want the interview intro?
Oh, let's do interview intro.
Interview intro. Okay.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Joining
Well, I'm
us
here.
today, James Floyd, renowned puzzleist. So
Puzzler works.
puzzler, not
Or-
puzzleist.
I don't, maybe just puzzled.
Well, that's an entirely different discussion and probably not for me, but for your therapist.
Always good to go see a therapist. So
Yeah. All right. So I was actually given, talking about your book, I was given, Chronicle Book sent me a preview copy, and it gave me a little the write-up on the book. So it says, speaking of which, Star Wars Crossword Puzzles and Other Word Games from a Galaxy Far, Far Away by James Floyd. Test your galactic knowledge with over 50 colorfully illustrated, fun, and challenging puzzles across. What is that even a word? Acrostics?
yeah, acrostics. That's another kind of puzzle, also called an anacrostic.
They're throwing words at me that I've never seen before in the thing, and now I need and we're just okay. And other word games in Star Wars Crossword Puzzles coming out November 19th, 2024. Puzzle master and lifelong Star Wars fan James Floyd draws clues and answers from quotes, trivia, memorable character moments, lightsaber showdowns, and much more. Is the Force strong with your puzzle solving skills? I don't know. Is it?
Well, I can answer for you since you helped playtest the book a little bit. Or is that a secret?
No, we haven't
Not
gotten there
anymore.
yet in the episode. Way to jump the gun.
I did it. Yeah.
So tell me, where did the idea for the book come from?
Well, I've been a Star Wars fan for a long time. You know that. I've also been a big fan of puzzles and word games. Ever since I was a kid, I'd get activity books that would have, mazes and dot to dots and like little word change the letter things, or how many words can you make out of this phrase, or and then moving on to word finds and then to crossword puzzles. And I always loved doing word games, logic puzzles, those kinds of things. Um, back when around the time of Celebration 4, a friend of mine, Dan Hammond, and we put together a puzzle race for Celebration 4. It was called the Kessel Run, but in pretty much every other U.S. race after that, we called it the Bounty Hunt, where teams of two is like the Amazing Race game show. Teams of two would solve puzzles that would then lead them around the convention center, where they'd have to get their passport stamp to earn credits, and then whoever solved the most puzzles and got their credits earned within the 2 hour would win the game. So we made all kinds of puzzles for that, not just crosswords. And so I really love making puzzles, and it's just a lot of fun. And when the opportunity came up to combine two things that I really love, Star Wars and puzzle making, I jumped right on it, and this is the result.
So did like Chronicle Books or somebody approach you about doing something like this, or was this your idea and you approached somebody else?
Actually, Chronicle came to me. The editor there knew that I was interested in doing a Star Wars book, and I had told him about my background doing puzzles, and so I think that the opportunity came up, and he's like, "I know the perfect guy for this." And so he talked to that perfect guy, and he turned it down, and then he's like, "Oh, there's also this James guy." So
It's
no,
understandable.
yeah.
People are busy, and so it's when you ask the important people if they can do something, it typically falls on the second choice.
Yeah, that
So yeah, as you alluded to, you had a bunch of people do puzzle testing. I assume to make sure that things worked or to make sure there weren't typos and stuff like that. Or or if they weren't nearly impossible to completely solve for someone who has read literally every book out there.
Well, the idea was to make it challenging for all levels, and so we want to make it fun. First of all, we don't want people to beat their head against the wall too much. No, really, there's maybe one or two hard ones in every puzzle that I think crossword puzzles, especially you do them and you start learning things, and so this is a chance to maybe learn a few extra Star Wars tidbits that maybe you didn't know before, or if you feel like you know everything, you'll probably get it. But yeah, we did some play testing. It was really to gauge the difficulty level, and sometimes some of the clues were either obscure, or my wording wasn't clear enough, or I was going for clever wordplay that just ended up being too oblique.
Yeah, the so I do the New York Times crossword on the app, the mini,
Hmm.
and I try to get it done in less than a minute.
Hmm.
That's my goal. I also
Usually,
tried to get your puzzle done in less than a minute. It did not happen.
yeah, usually I'm in like the 30 to 45 second range on that, and if I feel like I go over a minute, then it's just like
Yes.
on the New York Times mini crossword, not my own puzzle book.
Yes, your own
That's just a
puzzle.
lot of writing.
Yeah. Your crossword puzzles are intense. Like you said, there's a degree of difficulty that it spans when I was doing it, and it would take me 45 minutes about to do one of the puzzles.
Well, these puzzles are not just like 10 clue puzzles
No, no, they're
that
they're
that
intense.
yeah,
There's a lot.
there's a lot that are kind of in the 40 clue range. I think the biggest one tops out over 90 clues. I wrote puzzles that obviously the more clues there are, the easier it is to have words crossing over each other to then help fill in clues that you might need a little help on with a letter here or there. So really the bigger ones I think might work better. I don't know. No, but all every puzzle is themed differently. We have a lot of puzzles. The first set of puzzles in the book are each one is a different movie. And so, like the episode one is in the shape of Queen Amidala, that you see her face, but the puzzle goes around her, where all the hair, her fancy headdress and such. Every puzzle is in the shape of a different Star Wars character or item or place. So it is really fun that the illustrations that Chronicle put in with these are beautiful, and fit the style with the puzzles really well. That it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't get the fancy pictures. I just got like vague outlines when I
Yeah, when you were playtesting, you got yeah.
I got the stock photo filler.
Yeah.
This is the outline of Yoda. Like, thanks. Guess I'm not important enough to get a real Yoda.
Well, now you do. Now that you have the real copy of the real book, you can have your real Yoda picture.
I can have my real. Oh, there's Yoda. I found Yoda. Yoda man.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say, Grogu girl.
That's words. The benefit that people have doing this out of the book than I had, they have the answers in the back, and I just had to assume you would send me the answers at some point after I had to Google some of them, and then other ones, I'm just, I think my response to you was, I have literally no clue.
And we fixed those clues in the puzzle so that they are easier. So yeah, Jim, if you go through and compare them to the stuff I sent you way back, hopefully you'll be like, wow, this is better.
Oh, good. No, it was fun. I was glad that I could help out. I even kind of got an acknowledgement. Kind of.
Kind of. Your name's
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah. As James.
Well, yeah, James
Who are
is
you,
a
my mother?
James Lehane, get in here now and clean your room and stop screwing around on the computer.
Yes. It's literally the only person who calls me James, and even then, she knows better.
My apologies.
It's okay. I fixed it in my book.
Oh,
I ordered actually every version of the book, and I'm whiting him out and then sending him back.
awesome. Well, thank you because that will help reach those sales goals. So,
Yeah. So, give me some of your favorite clues. Do you know off the top of your head like some of your favorite ones? They gave me clues on the press release, but I have the book. I'm like, I could have picked out better clues than these.
oh, well, I don't know. There's some in there that are kind of clever wordplay or kind of jokes. My favorite one I'm not gonna spoil because it is so awesome.
Well, what
Um,
puzzle is it on?
ooh, what puzzle is it on? I
Because you
don't
literally have like
remember.
over 1,000 questions in here.
Yeah, this book is 30,000 words long. So, but it is like the last clue on a puzzle, basically. It's a let's see, maybe. Man, you're asking a tough question today.
Yeah, I'm digging deep for the scoop.
All right, let's do. Is it?
But to give people like a inkling of some of the like the easier questions, like type of gas harvested at Cloud City. Like that one, if you don't know it, that would be fairly easy to look up as well.
Well, I
Um,
mean, for the Return of the Jedi puzzle, there's one that says it's blank. So,
um, it's Mon Calamari. I don't know where you're going with that.
oh, I honestly don't remember either. Um, but you might get something like, number of blades favored by Darth Maul. That might be an easy one. Um,
It's actually
whereas
three. Um,
just one came off.
he just lost one. You just said favored. It didn't say no used.
All right. Yeah, but then, there's some like uh longer quotes that you have to fill in.
Those I
That
did terrible at because I cannot pull off quotes, especially word for word quotes.
hmm.
Yeah, I did. There's a few of them because they like run like really long across the puzzle.
Yeah,
Um, or across
appear in multiple
multiple.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I noticed that, and it's like yeah, here this one for Emperor Palpatine with 41 across. It is unavoidable. It is your destiny. Blank. 7 words total. 2 words here. And so yeah, it's like if you don't know, you are SOL for a lot of the
Yeah,
puzzle.
but there's ones that like Hans comment about hearing about probabilities, and so hopefully you can figure that one out.
Yeah, so like a lot of these like too was like when I was start filling in, and you're right, like you get start of letters, you're like, okay, like I know some of these phrases and I know the words in the phrases, I just don't know like maybe like a connector word or something like what is
Mm,
exactly. And so like you could start to like
right.
piece together what the phrasings are. It's like, oh yeah, he did say that. Truncated tattooed trainee.
Yeah, that's some wordplay there. I like alliteration a lot. Awesomely.
Truncated, tattooed. I don't remember any of the Ewoks with tattoos.
Uh, I don't remember any of the Ewoks getting truncated.
They lived in trees.
Dun dun dun.
So obviously they are already truncated.
Or
And that's
maybe
all
they're.
we have time for today. So
Thank you, Echo Base.
all right. So like I said, most of the puzzles are crosswords. What
Yes.
are some of because I did notice you did have a couple of other types of puzzles kind of sprinkled throughout. What is the what was the one I was reading? The
Oh, the
acro
acrostic.
acrobatics, yes.
Acrostic. That is one. There's one acrostic. It's basically uh, you fill in. It gives you clues, and you fill the letters in the puzzle. But the letters go in various places in the puzzle, and then the puzzle makes one long quote or statement, and then the first letter of every clue. When you read them down the list of clues, spells out the person who says that quote. So
That's
the acrostic
intense.
so the acrostic part is that when you read down there's a message that way as well as the puzzle filling in.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
that's not this mystery square, right?
no, the mystery square that's kind of like a reverse word find that you get clues so you know the words and then you got to figure out how to put them into a word find grid so that they'll all fit together. And you're given where all the starting letters are, so you know where to start words, hopefully, but you don't know which way they go, and so you got to figure out how they all crisscross each other in all the directions.
Okay. Yep, I found the acrobatic stick.
Akron, Ohio stick.
Akron, Ohio stick. Yep. And you also got a code breaker challenge, which is basically a correct the Arabash font.
Yep. It's a cryptogram, but the letters in Arabic. But
I know
one of my
people who
other
can read that, and it
well,
just
well, that'll be easy for them, or will it? Did I do a letter substitution as well as an R
what is a
substate?
substitution?
It's like a substation, but it's got Tay in it.
Okay, Tay.
Tay.
Is that T, but you substituted one of the letters?
No, it's like Tay. You know Tay.
I have not met Tay.
Oh, Tay Diggs?
Oh, yeah. Tay Diggs has not been on the podcast.
Oh, well, I haven't met him either. But and then one of the other ones is a fill-in puzzle of planets and moons and other things like that. Basically, it was a good way to put a ton of planet names into a puzzle without having to write clues for them because those could get very wordy for a lot of these places. And there is a bit of a joke in there if you can find it, figure it out.
I see that. I see that. It also has the appropriate letter number of Y's in Kashyyyk.
Of course.
Or is it
We
Kashyyyk? Otherwise, because if you're spelling it out in the crossword puzzle, Remember all your Y's and
Yeah.
mind your P's and Q's.
I mean, really, you should try out the Tuscan Raider language puzzle.
Raider language, but that sounds terrible.
It's mostly U's and R's, occasional O, some apostrophes. No, there's no Tuscan Raider puzzle. That's in book two, and we'll definitely have an audiobook format for book two.
Oh, there you go. There you go. How long did it take you to do this?
Um, Probably from about 6 months of writing the puzzles, maybe less than 6 months of writing the puzzles. There's over 50 in the book, and then more time with the play testing and going through edits and approvals and such from Lucasfilm and from Chronicle.
I had another question.
Oh, well, I bet I know the answer. The usually to write a single puzzle, it would take me, a day, 2 days, sometimes a little more if I would just like I need to rework this section because I need it to fit.
That was not the question, but it was a good answer. Did you use any, is there a crossword program that you can like how, or did you just literally just kind of lay them out and cut out giant letters and lay them on the ground and like rearrange it like it's
I did not cut out giant letters. What I did to create each puzzle, each one is made by hand. I would find the shape that I wanted to use, basically a photo of what I wanted, and I would blow it up big and print it on the backside of a sheet of graph paper. And then, I'd make a word list of, I had a theme, let's say weapons, and I would just write down the name of every weapon or a quote about weapons, and just make a huge list. And then, start fitting those words onto the puzzle. If I had a quote that I wanted to use, I'd fit those across where I could find them, and then start linking words together, using words off the word list. And occasionally, when there was like, I need to bridge these two words together and I don't have a word from the word list, I might check, check the scripts. Is it in the script in one of the movies so I can pull it from there? If not, I would use like a crossword solver word list program where you can just type in is like, I need a 5-letter word where the second letter is a P and the last letter is an N. And, it'd generate this huge list for me. And then I'd figure out which one of these words can I make a Star Wars clue based on.
Oh, that's cool. So if you need, so I did notice that periodically there were just random words like that could like, yes, there was a Star Wars clue, but the answer was just a regular word.
Yeah, if the word was advocate, which is in one of the puzzles, I would say, well, something to help promote as a cause, as Queen Amidala would do in the Senate, something like that. That find some way to put a Star Wars example to it.
That's interesting. I've never made a crossword, so I literally have no idea. But that's interesting that you basically started with the answers and then worked your way back to the clues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The clues I write last. That the words go first into the puzzle. Since I'm trying to create a specific shape, I want to fill in that shape as much as I can, and kind of stick to the borders that I've set for myself for that. And then I write the clues for the words that I have in there. And usually when I put in words, I'll have something in mind for the clue, especially, obviously if I'm doing something related to a quote, it's like, I know what quote I'm putting in there that's missing this word. So, I've thought about them, but it's, start putting them together and then seeing what types of clues are showing up and making sure it's not like a whole bunch of quotes all in one block of clues, kind of spreading them out, obviously if the words are there, the words are there and I have to do it. But Um, yeah, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I really like writing puzzles, and I hope people have a lot of fun solving the puzzles.
How was your workflow different than, because I've done the bounty hunt with you a few times, and I've
Mhm.
done well a few, at least one of them. How was your process different? Because you're right, the puzzles. I don't think there was any crosswords. If they were limited if there was, because there's a lot
Mhm.
of word play and fill in the blanks sort of thing to get to the answer that you were looking for. So how was your process different for this book than it was for, say, any of those other events?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously with this, the goal was puzzles, and they don't have to solve to anything, whereas the puzzles in the bounty hunt had to solve to a character's name or their identity somehow, so that then you could translate that character's name to the location. Like you'd have a list of names and locations of the convention center. So it'd be like, oh, you know, the answer is Wicket the Ewok. Okay, I look on my list. Oh, it says Wicket is go to a place outside room W304A. And so you'd go there and get your credit stamped for having found Wicket. Whereas here, I don't have to have everything solved to something. So it's just like, let's just make puzzles, and make them all crosswords pretty much. I mean, there's maybe four or five that are not, but yeah, so, and just have fun with it. Have you know Working on the themes was fun. Making up a big list of the types of puzzles I wanted to do. The different themes, and picking from there with my editor which ones we want to go forward with. And then usually with the theme, sometimes I'd have an idea of what image to use, and sometimes I'd be like, okay, let's find something that will fit the shape. And like at first I thought for like Empire Strikes Back, let's do Cloud City because that looks really cool. And then I tried fitting it on a piece of paper, and I'd be like, okay, this puzzle is like 3 words across and one major line down, and that's not going to work.
May I suggest for a future book? And I have no, like, clearly you have no control over anything. Um, but
Well,
my
yeah, I'm
daughter,
a parent.
yeah, I know. My daughter and I had read the Mysterious Benedict Society books, and one of the books that are in the series is a puzzle book,
Hmm.
but it's a puzzle book with a story. And so
Mm.
each, as you're going through it, it's written like there's parts of a story scattered throughout this book, but it's almost every page is a puzzle that either takes up the 2 pages or even like several pages. And there are multiple different types of puzzles. But when you get to the end of it, like you'll notice like through the book, there's like letters that are circled. And then you get
Right.
to the end and you have to, again, there's another puzzle that takes across the entire book. So it's similar to your bounty hunt where you're moving in a direction as opposed to these are all
Mhm.
standalone puzzles. I think you would be very good at doing something like that, is doing puzzles, but also having an overarching puzzle that you may not realize is there till you get to the end and have to go back and do this overarching puzzle.
Right. That I'd call that a meta puzzle. That it's kind of a second layer puzzle in there that and I've as you mentioned, that kind of the bounty hunt goes that way. Usually there's not quite a puzzle that you have to have solved everything else to get to,
Right.
but there is an overall kind of story there of you
Yeah.
doing the bounty hunt. But yeah, I've my friend Dan and I, besides the bounty hunt, put on the San Diego Rocket Race, which is driving around town, one-day challenge in San Diego for teams up to four. And we often have a meta puzzle that if you look at the clue sheets, for each puzzle, and that's much more linear. That you go to the spot that you solved for the first clue, you'll get someone there that will give you the next clue, and so you have to solve that to get to your third place, etc. And so as you go, there's maybe something on the clue page that points to something extra, and usually that's more for a bonus than reaching the goal.
Like I said,
But yeah,
I think you would be very good at doing like a Star
oh,
Wars version of that with Like,
Absolutely.
but
Definitely tell all of your friends in publishing or go on Twitter and
my
say,
friends in
"Hey,
publishing.
well, just put it out there to the world and have people clamor for this type of book,
Yeah,
especially
no,
written
I
by
think
James Floyd."
yeah, I think a
Eh,
in-universe because they have so
yeah,
many in-universe sort of things.
yeah, like
It's
a
not
Jedi
that difficult.
holocron
Yeah,
test thing. So,
yeah, just throw it like a in-universe sort of puzzle adventure story
mhm.
thing.
Yeah, I like this idea. Maybe I should pitch it. Certainly with
James is like, I pitched it like 3 months ago and it's already been
no,
approved and I'm
no.
working
Oh,
on it. I have
oh,
no idea.
oh. I wish that'd be awesome. No, that yeah, the tricky thing with in-universe stuff is that's got to really get a fine-tooth comb through the story group that
It's another level of nitpicking,
yeah,
essentially.
that with this, it went through Lucasfilm approvals, and that and that included maybe somebody from story group and just to make sure that I wasn't creating new things or getting a fact wrong. There was something in the making of this that I was told you can't say it this way, and I was like, oh, really? I guess, in Legends it had been defined this way, but it hasn't been officially defined this way for the current canon, and that is okay. If you're in the San Diego area and you'd like a signed copy of the book, I will be doing two signings. I'll have a pre-release party on November 16th at Mysterious Galaxy Bookstore at 1 o'clock. Come join and get the book a few days before its official release date. And then the following weekend at the Barnes and Noble Bookstar Loma Theater in Point Loma from 2 to 4. We'll do a signing there. And if you'd like to get a signed copy and you're not in the San Diego area, you can still get one. You can go to the Mysterious Galaxy website, which I believe is mystgalaxy.com. It's a bookstore in San Diego that specializes in mystery and science fiction and fantasy and kids lit. And we are such good friends with them that they love Star Wars, and so they're having me come there for having a release party. And if you order from them, I will sign it and it will get shipped off to you.
Excellent. I didn't get that option.
Well, if you want to buy one, yes, you can get one.
I will include all that information in the show notes, so you're not having to write this down while you're driving. I don't know if you're listening to this while you're driving. I always listen to podcasts while I drive, so I just
Yeah.
when I'm
Don't
writing
write
things
it down, just text it to yourself.
that's much better. Google it actually while you're driving.
Ask Alexa.
Alexa does. I have a Siri on my phone. I don't know where Alexa is in my car.
Okay, Google.
I don't know is Google a person too?
Yeah, okay, Google. Yeah, and then I don't know. I guess you can just say computer.
It's like Star Trek.
Yes,
Computer.
computer.
So yeah, I don't have much else. Like I said, this book is you got this will take anyone doing these a long time. Like you
Well, yeah, there's 50 puzzles, so it will keep you entertained for quite a while. It's coming out in November. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you're a Star Wars fan, but you can always get them for friends who are also Star Wars fans, or for the Star Wars fan in your life. Makes a perfect holiday gift.
it does. It does. I think this may be coming up again in a future episode.
We'll have the answers.
I'm just gonna read off the answers.
Well, or we could, have people call in with their favorite clue or one they're still working on, or
You know
like,
what? I have ones I'm still working on. This clue I call I can't say the words I was going to say, but directing it at James Floyd. No, I think because we're going to be doing our annual gift guide
Woo!
in a couple weeks, so I might mention this again. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. It'll be a surprise.
Surprise!
Surprise. No, we're not there yet.
Oh, it's a trap.
And you just gave away the answer of the question, the clue.
It's been a while. This is like the answer key back here.
We've reached the answer key, and the answer to clue 7, number 8, is Palpatine. I don't know, actually. I wasn't paying that close attention. It may not actually be Palpatine. It might, though.
That would be pretty awesome if it was.
You know how you will find out if it is? By buying the book.
Yep. You can get the book on pretty much anywhere that you get books. It's on the online sellers like Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can also go to bookshop.org, which is a great way to support your local independent bookstores. You can get it directly from Chronicle Books website. So yeah, you can get it pretty much anywhere you can buy books. And if you can't get it there, complain to the management and say, I want it.
I have a local bookstore that opened up near me, very, very small town, but it's a very lovely bookstore. And I just message her and say, can you pick up like this book for me? And it'll come in a couple weeks and it's like, it's here. And so I'll go in. So I am supporting a local business and not giving more money to Bezos.
Yep, exactly. Support your local indie booksellers, especially this holiday season.
All right. So tell us how we can find you.
You can find me on the planet Tatooine. And if you're not watching this, you're listening to this. My background behind me is the road to Jabba's palace, so only Jim can see this.
I'm like nobody else is gonna see this. As you specifically asked, will anybody see this before we started?
I know we can cut this whole bit. To find me, okay, I'm just going to do it straight. To find me, I am on X and Instagram as James Jawa. You can also check out my podcast, Star Warsologies. Jim has been on a couple times where we talk about science and Star Wars. We bring on a guest expert every time to talk about their field of study and how it connects to the galaxy far, far away. That I do this podcast with my friend Melissa Miller, who's coming up next week, I think. And it's a lot of fun. So we can find Star Warsologies also on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram, formerly Instagram, at Star Warsologies.
All right. And you can find us on all the socials at Talkin Tauntauns. You can find us at our website, talkintauntauns.com. You can contact us through our email, contact@talkintauntauns.com, or the contact button that is on our website. So please leave a 5-star review wherever good or bad reviews are left. Share the show with a friend, an enemy, a political rival.
A Wampa.
A Wampa?
Yeah.
You can share it with a Wampa.
Wampa.
But as long as that they are Tauntaun friendly Wampas.
Wampa. Wampa.
I'm pretty sure they don't say Wampa. It's not like a gonk droid.
Wampa.
All right. And with that, we'll see you next time.